Hey guys, it's that time of year again. World's Strongest Man is coming up in only 2 weeks' time. We've just had the heats leaked and also the groups, so we're going to know what events are going to be with which groups and also where the athletes are going to be and who they're going to be competing against. So let's go with all the groups first, and then I'll go through the heats afterwards, so what events they have in each heat. So Group 1 is Brian Shaw of America, with Ivar Smokstelis of Latvia. We've got Graham Hicks of Great Britain. We've got Maxime Boudreault of Canada. And you've also got Travis Ortmeyer coming back after 10 years of not competing, and he's from the USA. In Group 2, you've got Tom Stoltman of Great Britain, Evan Singleton of America, Trey Mitchell III of America, Mark Felix of Great Britain, and also Johnny Hansen of Sweden, who just won Sweden's Strongest Man, so it'll be really interesting to see how he gets on. Group 3 is JF Caron of Canada. You've got Luke Richardson of Great Britain, Mikhail Shivlyakov of Russia, Robert Oberst of the USA, and also Ethor Ingolfsson Melstead of Iceland. Group 4 is Jerry Pritchett of USA, Adam Bishop of Great Britain, Konstantine Janashia of Georgia, Terry Hollands of Great Britain, and Chris Vanderlind of South Africa. And Group 4, Olexsii Novikov, the current World's Strongest Man from Ukraine. We've got Kevin Ferris of USA, Luke Stoltman of Great Britain, Bobby Thompson of USA, and Gavin Bilton of Great Britain. So it's a pretty stacked lineup, I think you guys will agree. 25 athletes, 5 super stacked heats, and it's anyone's to win, really. Previous years you might have said, you know, Zydrunas will win it, or Hafthor will win it, or maybe Brian Shaw, but it's so close now, you just can't say that. And every group is, in my opinion, a group of death. Normally people will say, oh, it's this group or it's that group. I've been hearing a lot of conversation online saying Group 5 is the group of death. I don't think it is. I think every group has the ability to be very, very difficult. And I'm going to explain why, because obviously everyone has an opinion. I've got an opinion and I'd like to share it with you, so I will. So let's go back through the groups. Going back to Group 1, a couple of groups have got squat, a couple of groups have got deadlift, a couple of groups have got fingers, and a couple of groups have got train pull. Now, apart from that, everyone is doing a pickaxe hold, an overhead medley, and a loading medley. And those will make up the 5 events that they need to do to make it through to the final. Now, the top person in each event or each group after 5 events will go through, and that will leave positions 2 and 3 to battle it out in a stone eliminator. And that's where they have to lift the stone backwards and forwards over the yoke. The first person to quit or to fail to put the stone over will be eliminated. So it does give the person in 3rd place a little bit of a lifeline, and that's what they want. They want TV drama, they want things that look good on the television. It's a television show first and a competition second. It is a legit competition, but do not underestimate the TV element. They're definitely looking for entertainment value, viewing figures, and trying to grow the sport, and it will be that is the main focus, which is why World's Strongest Man is very different to any other competition that you guys will probably watch, and why it's not live as well, why it's sort of filmed, edited, and then we have to wait to watch it. So that's a little bit about Worlds. So going back to Group 1, they've got the loading medley, the squat, the fingers, the overhead medley, and the pickaxe hold. So looking at the list of athletes in Group 1, I would personally choose to put through Brian Shaw and Graham Hicks. Now, my reasoning for that is the fingers generally favour a taller athlete and a heavier athlete because you're able to get that purchase on the finger as you're pushing it over. So that would be Brian Shaw, in my opinion. And statically, Graham Hicks is one of the strongest guys in the entire field. He's really good at squatting. He's a really good overhead presser, got one of the best log pressers out of everyone again. So I think he's got some sort of easy wins there with a couple of events. And it'll just be things like the pickaxe hold, and, you know, speed on that overhead medley. Definitely one of the strongest pressers, but it's about speed and time. How quickly can you sort of ramble through those events? It's an axle, it's a barbell, it's a dumbbell. He's got to be quick, he's got to be accurate, but I still have confidence that Graham and Brian will be going through from Group 1. Moving on to Group 2, we've got the loading medley. They've changed the squat and they've got the deadlift. We've also got a train pull instead of the fingers. They also have the overhead medley and the pickaxe hold. My 2 picks to go through from Group 2 will be Tom Stoltman and Evan Singleton. Now, Evan Singleton, in my opinion, has had the greatest improvement over the last few months. The poor guy was injured at the previous World's Strongest Man. I think from memory tore his bicep. He came back from injury, really fired up. And, you know, you hear it all the time, oh, I'll be back, I'll be good, I'll come back again. And they never do, but he is back, trust me. If you follow him on Instagram, if you watch the videos that I put together, Evan's definitely, you know, top of the pack. His deadlift has gone through the roof, as has his overhead press. And he has been drilling this overhead medley for weeks. If you go again to his Instagram channel, you'll see the videos. And he did recently put up a video where he pipped Tom Stoltman in terms of doing that medley. So that's why I've got a bit of confidence behind Evan making the final. Someone who could hamper his chances, let's just say Tom Stoltman wins the heat or the group. Evan would probably find himself up against someone like Trey Mitchell in the stone off. And Trey is one of the best stone lifters here. That would be tricky. So second place is a bit of a tie-up between, in my opinion, Evan and Trey. But I've got Evan hopefully making it through based on the events that he will have already done well in. Moving on to Group 3, I've got JF Caron of Canada going through, solely on the basis that he goes through every time, always makes the final, and came third last year, which was only a few months ago. So he should technically make the final again. Now, one of his weaker events is the overhead press. And he does have an overhead medley. Group 3 have got the loading medley, the squat, the train pull, the overhead medley and the pickaxe hold. Now, I think he'll be okay because the overhead medley is a sub-maximal weight, so it's not really, really heavy. I think the axle and the barbell weighs in at 165 kilos. So that's more than, more than within JF's rep range or weight range for pressing. So again, it comes down to speed, it comes down to technique and no mistakes. So come on, JF, make the final, make the podium for Group 3. And also next up, we've got Luke Richardson as my second pick. Again, based on him making the finals at the previous World's Strongest Man, and also the fact that he is the current Europe Strongest Man. So he's definitely proven himself against quite a wide field of athletes. He's also recently pressed a 200 kilo log. So again, another athlete really working hard on his weaknesses. His log has come back stronger. He's a great deadlifter, and, you know, he should do well in that event. Next up, we've got Group 4. My picks to go through, Jerry Pritchett, very similar to JF Caron. He came fourth at last World's Strongest Man, and Jerry is a really good, well-rounded athlete. Everyone knows him for his deadlift, but he didn't come fourth last year for no reason. That means he was good across the board, pressing, lifting, moving with weight. Jerry's got the full package, and hopefully there's no mistakes this time, and he can make the podium because I think he deserves it. But going to the events quickly, they've got the loading medley, the deadlift, Jerry's speciality there, fingers, overhead medley, and the pickaxe hold. So I think Jerry's a pretty safe banker for group number 4, and my second pick would be Adam Bishop. Adam is the current Britain's Strongest Man, and he also made the final at the last World's Strongest Man as well. So quite confident that Adam hasn't lost any strength. And again, if you follow him on Instagram, he basically has improved his overhead press. His log has gone up. I think I saw 190. And also, he's just so good moving with weights. Things like the medley. He's going to be very hard to beat on that medley. Very similar to Tom Stoltman. Tom and Adam, very good at medleys. So they are my 2 picks to go through with a comment about Konstantine Janashia. He is also in that group. Someone who was injured recently, but if he's fully healed, and if he comes in like he did in his first time at World's Strongest Man, where he came 4th, then he could also make the final. So again, a bit like group number 2, it is a toss-up in my opinion between Konstantine Janashia and Adam Bishop, but I've got Bishop taking the win just based on videos that I've seen, previous performances, and I don't think he's injured. Moving on to the final group, group number 5. I've got Olexsii Novikov going through from Ukraine. He is the current World's Strongest Man, and that means he's already recently beaten most of these guys because it's a similar field to the last one, and he just finds a way. He's the lighter athlete, the younger athlete, very athletic and very tricky, and I don't know what the word is here. He finds a way. It's not necessarily about being the biggest guy, but it's down to technique, and he always manages to find that advantage and use it to his advantage. So things like that overhead medley for speed, he will be quick. He's one of the best dumbbell pressers for a single arm dumbbell from all the heats, and I think he'll do very well here. And in his group, the events are loading medley, deadlift, Fingals fingers, overhead medley and pickaxe hold. So talking about Olexsii, deadlift, he won the deadlift last time. I know it was a partial at World's Strongest Man. It was like from 18 inches on those big axle or wagon wheels. But it doesn't really matter. He's shown his deadlift is good. And I'm sure that will carry over to, whatever the setup is. And I think it's going to be with some boxes. It's going to be a similar setup to last time. And also that overhead medley will suit him down to the ground. Axle, barbell, dumbbell, done. So no qualms about Olexsii going through. The other athlete, now this is tricky. I've put my neck on the line, and online I've put Gavin Bilton. Gavin from Wales or the UK. He recently won the UK Strongest Man for the second year in a row, which means he's beaten everyone that turned up to compete at the UK's. He made it to World's Strongest Man last year, didn't make the final, but again, much like Evan Singleton, he's been working hard. And if you check out his videos, again, go and check him out on Instagram, check all the guys out. You find that Gavin's log press has gone up as well. I'm sure he did something like 190 to 195. So log pressing, everyone's raising their game, even by 5 or 10%. That's all it takes just to put yourself back into the mix. He's a really big guy, so I think he'll do well at things like Fingals fingers. He's one of the heaviest was the heaviest athlete at the last World's Strongest Man. And I know Brian Shaw's been cutting some weight, so I'll expect Gavin to still hold that title as biggest and heaviest athlete at the event. And that body weight's definitely going to help him with pushing over those fingers. So I'm putting my sort of stamp on Gavin Bilton. Other people have said Luke Stoltman, and other people have said Bobby Thompson and Kevin Ferris. So Kevin made the final last time. Bobby just broke the American log press record. Luke's the best log presser out of the entire group. It is anyone's game, and I think this is why people are calling Group 5 the Group of Death. I still don't think that's the case. I still think that I still think that Colin and Darren at Giants Live have done a very good mix-up of everyone. We've got people whose strengths are overhead, people whose strengths are moving events. We've got people from all countries mixed up, Brits and Americans, and the sprinkling of everyone else that they were able to get over this time. And I just think it's going to be a really great show. And so from Group 5, I'm putting through Olexsii Novikov and Gavin Bilton. I hope I'm right, and if I'm not, it doesn't matter, because it's just, it's just predictions. But it's exciting stuff. It's really great to have this information already and to know that it's accurate. World's Strongest Man doing everything they can to control the information this year. So you might find that people like myself, Cale Beckett starting Strongman, and various other channels will be a little bit slower. Even that spreadsheet that people follow, it might take a bit longer to get the information because it's being kept behind like a paid viewing experience put on the World's Strongest Man's Facebook page. So by all means, pay for that and get the information first. Or if you're able or willing to wait a little while, maybe a day or two, we'll put it out as quickly as we can, just to make sure everyone's got the information, because we all want to know, because we're not going to get to watch this properly until Christmas time. So December in the UK on Channel 5, and it's usually late summertime on CBS Sport in America. And the reason why it's only on those two channels in those two countries is because they pay for the rights to air the programme. I think World's Strongest Man should be aired globally because it is World's Strongest Man, and it's such a shame when you get athletes messaging you asking for copies of the show or video of them lifting, because they just can't watch it where they live, and it just seems crazy. Hopefully there'll be a way that World's Strongest Man, IMG, Giants Live, whoever is the decision maker in that, can make that happen for everyone. Not just for the athletes, but for the fans. I certainly have said it previously, I would quite happily pay £50 or, I don't know, $80 to have a nice packaged World's Strongest Man program, either sent to me via a link or something that I can download, or even posted on a DVD if it really has to be. Whatever it takes, I think fans would pay for it, and I think that's where they could generate some more income, not just focusing on the deals that they broach with America and the UK, but actually globally think of those extra sales, those additional sales, and the extra revenue that they can bring in. Or maybe they can put it as part of officialstrongman.com, and it can go behind that wall there, so that we will all join the officialstrongman.com page, pay for that on a monthly basis, and part of that is on the understanding that World's Strongest Man will put out as quick as possible an edited show for each of the heats and the finals. I think that would be a great idea. Colin Bryce, if you're listening, feel free, pinch any ideas, do what you need to do. It would just be great for everyone. But anyway, so that's all I wanted to do today, guys. Have a quick chat, talk about the groups and the different events in each group and who I think will make the final. So one final time, it's going to be Brian Shaw, Graham Hicks, Tom Stoltman, Evan Singleton, JF Caron, Luke Richardson, Jerry Pritchett, Adam Bishop, Olexsii Novikov and Gavin Bilton. They are my 10 athletes that I think will make the final. Who do you think will make the final? Put a comment below. It'll be interesting for us to have a bit of a discussion about why you think certain athletes will go through. Do you think anything will change before World's Strongest Man happens? There's always chances for change. So that's it from me, guys. I really hope you liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and hit subscribe. And I'll catch you all again as always on the next one.